doesn't make the intro because I think the intro shouldn't be me telling people how to do illegal things.
Fair.
But now this is the intro.
Oh, yeah.
So they won't know what I was talking about, and they'll probably assume it's something much worse than what it actually is.
That's what we talk about in our house.
Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of I Love This, You Should Too. My name is Indy, clearly not distracted by the World Junior Hockey Championships.
Indy's watching a
Randhawa.
whole hockey game right now.
Well, Sweden and Finland are in a shootout.
Oh, okay.
You know, at least, if there are, maybe there's a couple things I'm good at, but one of them is multitasking.
Oh, yes. And I'm Samantha.
I was going to say. And with me, as always, except for that one time, is my lovely co-host, Miss Samantha, One-Track Mind Randhawa.
That's me.
She's going to give you full attention here, unlike me, who is now watching the Canada game.
Oh, okay, great. I'm wrapped in a fuzzy blanket because it's cold.
It is.
But what are we doing here, Indy?
Well, today is kind of one of our little mini in-between episodes, so that me and Samantha and I will each have a probably spoiler-free thing of the fortnight, because we do these every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
And then Sam's going to tell me what we are watching for our next big watch, but you, dear listener, you probably already know because it's going to be in the title. It's going to be a big surprise to me, though.
Woo!
And I am excited.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to do romance for the month of February. But Samantha, let's get things started. What is your thing of the fortnight?
It's a book.
I was going to say, what is your audiobook of the fortnight?
Yes. So it's called The Witch's Daughter by Paula Brackston. And it is a book about witchcraft, and it starts in the spring of 1628, and a young girl watches her mother die from execution, and she knows that she needs to get out of town because if the mom's a witch, daughter's probably a witch too.
Probably.
And she finds a actual warlock who was a friend of her mother's, and he trains her in witchcraft, and she now, centuries later, is a practicing witch in present-day England.
Oh, she's lived for centuries.
She's lived for centuries. And now she realizes that Gideon, the warlock who helped her initially, is hunting her across time.
Oh. Is there time travel, or he's just been hunting her for a long time?
There isn't time travel. It's mostly just that he can, like, shapeshift. Oh. And so she doesn't always know.
He doesn't realize that it's been him, but he's been there all the time.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so she realizes quite a bit, like she kind of details her whole life, and you can see where he sneaks in and then she moves. So it can, like, to get away from him. So you get this kind of chasing through time, am I ever really safe kind of story. And then Elizabeth makes friends with a teenage girl named Tegan, and Tegan just, like, won't go away. She's a teenage girl. She's really interested in witchcraft, and she just, like, won't stop visiting Elizabeth. And you get this kind of unlikely friendship, and you get a like kind of a sweet relationship of Tegan and Elizabeth, and then you also get a kind of scary, kind of suspenseful part with Gideon, who is hunting Elizabeth through time. And I think that the people who like books about witches or romances or fantasy books will enjoy this, as it's, like, a little more rooted in the real world, and you get kind of a little bit more of a modern context to it.
This sounds like something that I might actually be interested in. So you said it is a romance as well? There's romance elements?
There's a little bit of romance here and there.
What would you say the overall tone of it is? Is it a lighter book, or is it very serious?
It is lighter. I wouldn't say it's like a comedy or anything. I think it's more of a low-key kind of suspenseful book.
Okay, so it's a page turner.
For sure, yes. And there is a second one, and I have read it, and I really enjoyed it. It's called Return of the Witch.
Oh, can the first one stand on its own, or do you need the second one?
Yes, you can just read the Witch's Daughter. It's not necessary to read the second one, and it came out like quite a bit after.
Okay, when was the first one?
2008.
The Witch's Daughter from?
And Return of the Witch came out in 2016.
Okay.
So like quite a bit after.
Sure.
But I do think that it is it's nice to kind of read the second one. I enjoyed the continuation of the story, although I think that the Witch's Daughter could just be its own book.
So kind of if you like the first one, you're going to like the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Good, because I don't like getting into books now where so many contemporary books are at least a trilogy, and I don't like going into the first one knowing like, well, you're going to have to read all of them.
Yeah.
So it's nice that this one you can go either way. If you want more, there's more for you. And I'm guessing this was another audiobook?
It was another audiobook.
How was the audio portion?
It was good. It was like a neutral one. It wasn't like a huge production.
It was fine.
It was fine. I didn't find the narrator distracting. And I found that all of the voices were what they needed to be.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying not to make it sound bad, but like...
Well, yeah, some of them have big productions and some of them are poorly done.
And so distracting, and it's not how you think the character sounds.
Yeah, and most of them are fine. And I don't have a lot to comment on the audio section. It's just the story.
Yeah, and it wasn't distracting, I think is the best thing I can say, is that it kind of just goes with the book.
Great.
Yeah.
And we never talk about this, but I know the answer. How do you listen to all of your audiobooks?
Well, I use a little app called Libby, and I usually do it on my phone.
So that is an app that you can get library books for free if you just have a library card. So go get one, get Libby, and you can do all sorts of audiobooks, and you can do just regular ebooks through Libby as well, but I feel like you don't do that very often.
I don't think I read a book with my eyeballs since 2020.
Okay.
I reserve my eyeballs for work.
Sure. You know what? That's fair.
I do so much reading at work already that I don't really want to go and like pick up a book then. So I really appreciate Libby because there's always lots of choice.
I think you've noticed I used to be mostly paper, and then it started going half and half, audiobook and paper book, and it's been a lot more audio. And then I saved my eye reading for graphic novels and comic books because you can't do an audiobook of that.
You can't.
Or it would be terrible.
Yeah, you'd just be listening to a movie.
Yeah.
So Indy, what's your thing of the fortnight?
My thing of the fortnight is the television show Northern Exposure. Northern Exposure was a TV show that ran from 1990 to 1995. I saw a couple of episodes when I was a child, and for whatever reason, I think it was the theme song and the setting, it stuck with me, and now I was like, you know what? I'm going to go watch all of that show. So I did. So this is a 90s, it's not a sitcom exactly. It won a Emmy for outstanding drama, but I think it's a comedy, but not a conventional sitcom, I guess. It mostly follows a doctor, Joel Fleischman. He is a young, neurotic, uptight doctor from New York City, and he took this deal where the state of Alaska would pay for his medical education as long as he did a certain amount of time in a Alaskan city, because it's hard to get people to live there, especially they had a shortage of doctors. But he actually gets put in this tiny, tiny town, not a big city like he thought he was going to be, big-ish city for Alaska. And he gets put in this remote town, fictional town called Sicily, Alaska. And it's your classic fish out of water story. It's this New York guy who has to deal with all of these very small town, remote town issues. There is a whole cast of eccentric locals, and a lot of it deals with that. And it does the fish out of water for quite some time, but eventually they did get into a point where it was about his growth and his change as a person. And that, I think, was much more interesting. And as time goes on, it really develops all of these side characters, and you get to see them, who I honestly like probably more than Fleischman. But when it came out, it was praised for its writing and characters and originality, because it was quite different than what was on network TV for the most part. Like I said, it won an Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series in '92 and was nominated for more, I believe. And it never really had huge numbers. It wasn't very popular, but the people who liked it were very dedicated to it. So it stayed on air for 5 seasons. And I think this is back when seasons were 20 to 24 episodes, 44-minute episodes. So that's quite a
lot,
bit of
yeah.
TV. I'm picking this as my thing of the fortnight, but it's also largely uneven. When it's good, it is very good and it is very interesting, but it can be really frustrating when it's not. I think it comes from a lot of the characters in this take on more of an archetypal form. It's less of this individual and they're kind of a stand-in for an idea. And sometimes arguing with an idea is frustrating. And that happens in this show. Some characters are perplexing in their stubbornness, and those types of movies or shows where you're like, why are you doing this? That gets a bit annoying. So it does get into that. But what I liked most about it is when it would do kind of the same thing, but in different ways. Like it would have a lot of ideas of tradition versus modernity without being too heavy-handed. It would get very philosophical at times. I think it's a comedy. I don't know why it's considered a drama by most. I think it's pretty funny, but it's not just telling jokes like a sitcom. So maybe that's why it got branded as a drama instead. And it just does have a bit more depth than a lot of sitcoms or dramas at the time, because this is, prime sitcom time. Crime dramas were big, and this was quite different. A big part of it is the town itself of Sicily. That is this small town that has one bar, one doctor, and one store. And you get to see all of the people. Somehow, though, they always get like tourists coming through, because you need to mix it up when you get to season 4. You need a new character.
You can't just have the same 8 people.
Someone was just passing through, and I was like, why are you passing through this town? But you need to do that sort of stuff. And I think it's at its best when it gets weird. There are a few episodes, or like really arcs in seasons, that are strange. There are magical realism elements, like straight up magical, inexplicable things happen. But rather than everyone going like, what's going on here? It's just, that's how things go. Sometimes the weather makes people act differently, or the winds come in and this is what happens because of it. So it takes on that, not quite to the extent of fairy tale, because it's somewhere between fairy tale life and straight up reality, but it treats it as reality. It doesn't treat it any differently if someone is acting a certain way because of the wind or because they are sick, right? It's all a part of it. It also had a lot more indigenous representation than anything I could think of from the time, and better than you'd think. It is the early 90s, so it's not the best for today, but it's good. And there's nothing negative to it. And some of the actors, I forget what the actor's name is now, but she plays Marilyn Whirlwind, and she is my favorite character on this show. She has this incredible deadpan delivery. She's fantastic in it.
What's her name? Marilyn Whirlwind?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that such a good name?
That's such a good name.
And they do treat indigenous folklore with the same amount of respect. Just like I was saying how there's the magical realism element, the doctor would sometimes get advice from elders or from a medicine man, and it would be as effective. It's not like, look at this wacky thing. It would be the doctor's like, no, I went to medical school, I know. And then he would see these things working and realize like, yeah, there is a balance to everything. It is not just one or another. It's not like, oh, you live off the land, so therefore you are in touch with it. And I'm from the New World, so I don't know. And it's not, I know real medicine. This is just witchcraft. It's a blend. Everything is just as valid. And that comes through with the sometimes dreams can affect people's personalities or how they treat some of the more like folk remedies in it. So it's nice and interesting for that. And I think it's a TV show that actually looks at philosophy. There's one character who outright says it, who's always talking about philosophers. And the other characters are often enacting things that would be in that same book, but they just aren't aware of it and commenting on it. So it's an interesting mix. Like I said, it's good when it's good. It does get a little annoying on certain episodes where it's not so good. But when they're doing things like the magical realism, or sometimes there's fourth wall breaks, or sometimes they're telling a story, but all of these characters are a part of it, but they are playing different people.
Right.
Like, I think Vladimir Lenin came to Sicily at one point, and they have that, and it's yeah. So it's kind of all over the place, but I think that is what its charm is. So the show is called Northern Exposure. It is quite old now, I guess, but you know what? It doesn't feel dated because it feels like it's in a world of its own.
Okay.
So go watch Northern Exposure. Where? I don't know. You can ask me and I'll lend you to.
Somewhere.
The hint is the same place where I'm watching this hockey game. Wink.
Great.
All right, Sam. We now want to know, what is the big watch we are going to be watching
For next week.
for next week?
The big watch, I was thinking about this. I was trying to figure out what we should watch, and I will let the listener in on a little tip, is that we are recording this way in advance. It is still the beginning of January because we are going to Mexico for a couple weeks, and so we wanted to get a little ahead. And so I was like, what's like a fun, light, vacation-y movie
that we can watch while we're away?
That we can watch while we're away. I was trying to think of something that like I had seen, and then I was like, you know what takes place at a resort and that I haven't seen? 1987's Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. Oh, I'm very excited about this.
I was like, what's a movie that kind of goes like, because we're going to a resort for a little bit. We're going to be like.
It takes place at a resort?
It does. It's a resort in the Catskills. So like it's like an American resort, but it is a summer movie. So I thought a nice warm setting. And I really only know what's like in pop culture about this, like the Lift and Had the Time of My Life, the song, and Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. And I listened to Kelly Bishop, Emily Gilmore's book, and she talks about playing the mom on this movie. So I'm like piqued my interest a little bit, and I am really looking forward to finally seeing Dirty Dancing.
Me too. I'm very excited for you to see Dirty Dancing because I often talk about baby being put in a corner.
Yes.
Because you're a baby, and sometimes you get put in a corner.
So I am looking forward to seeing this. I think we will have good takes, and I think it'll be a fun watch for February.
I'm very excited about this. So any thoughts going in? You think you'll probably like it, I'd imagine.
I think I'll like it. I think it'll be very 80s. And I think that I will finally understand why she's called Baby.
Oh, then we probably need to do Footloose.
I was thinking this might need to be a few, because there's also Flashdance. I would
Saturday Night Fever, which is actually a real sad movie.
Oh, But I was thinking Footloose, Flashdance, and Dirty Dancing would be good movies for us to do. But we'll start with Dirty Dancing and see where we go from there.
Okay. I was going to say, should we just say we're doing Flashdance next? But no, we'll do this one. I have a romance movie too. We'll do for our romantic February.
Perfect. Okay. And then we will see you next week when we talk about
we get loose.
Dirty
Footloose.
Dancing.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought
We're not doing
Footloose.
We are doing Dirty Dancing.
So we will not get loose.
No,
Footloose,
we're
but
gonna
we
have
will
the
have the time of our lives. Yeah.
And we'll figure out why Baby was in that corner.
Well, no, nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Why Baby wasn't in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. And what Patrick Swayze has to do with this movie.
All right. Go watch Dirty Dancing if you haven't already. And we'll talk all about it next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.